Have you ever found yourself lost in the psychological maze of someone whose actions and words intertwine between truth and lies, between love and cruelty? Do you feel as though you're playing a game of cat and mouse with a ghost, sometimes near, sometimes distant, sometimes warm, sometimes cold, leaving you in a constant state of unease and anxiety? If your answer is yes, it's highly likely that you've encountered a narcissist. These individuals are masters of disguise, donning a flawless facade to conceal the dark corners of their inner world. Today, let's lift the veil of mystery and explore 7 peculiar behaviors that narcissists often display. Things that will leave you astonished. More importantly, equip yourself with the essential knowledge to protect yourself, ensuring you don't get swept into the toxic whirlpool of such relationships. Number 1. They suddenly disappear and then return as if nothing had happened. Everything seems to be going well, but one day, this person vanishes from your life like smoke. No messages, no calls, no goodbye. They evaporate from your world, leaving you stranded with unanswered questions. Your social media accounts are blocked and every channel of communication slammed shut, while you're left drowning in confusion, stuck in negative thoughts and emotions, with countless unanswered whys. To them, it's as if you never existed. But don't be surprised if one day they suddenly reappear, acting like nothing ever happened. They resume the relationship as though everything is normal, only to vanish again when they get bored. Narcissists enjoy playing a game of cat and mouse, keeping you in a limbo where you're never sure what's real and what's not. When faced with the unnerving silence of a narcissist, take a deep breath and stay calm. Don't let negative emotions, confusion, and anxiety cloud your judgment. Have the courage to face the truth no matter how painful it might be. This is just one of the cruel tactics they use to manipulate you. I know it's not easy to accept this truth, especially when your heart still clings to feelings for them. But remind yourself of this: someone who truly loves you would never treat you this way. They wouldn't leave you drowning in insecurity and despair. They would stand by your side, share with you, and help you overcome challenges together. Don't create imaginary scenarios in your mind to justify their disappearance. Don't delude yourself with theories of unexpected accidents or misunderstandings. The reality is, they chose to leave selfishly and irresponsibly, leaving you with deep emotional wounds and unbearable pain. Remember this: when the narcissist isn't with you, they're with someone else. You're just one of many prey in their cruel game. Moreover, their pattern of silent treatment, disappearing and then unexpectedly returning, is one of the most sophisticated manipulation tactics narcissists use. It's a psychological game designed to keep you in a state of uncertainty, confusion, and fear. They're unpredictable, sometimes tender and caring, other times vanishing without a trace, leaving you lost in a maze of emotions, unable to determine who they truly are. This erratic behavior keeps you constantly on edge, tense, as if walking on a thin wire, where one misstep could send you tumbling into an abyss. You live in fear, unsure when they might disappear again. You try to please them, to guess their intentions, but it's all in vain, because their goal is in harmony. It's instilling fear, keeping you perpetually anxious and insecure. Have you ever wondered if their return means they still love you? Or is there another reason? Stay tuned to find out. Number 2. They return after discarding you, not out of love, but for what you can give them. After a breakup, they don't miss you in the way you'd hope. They don't yearn for the beautiful memories or regret the hurtful words they said. Instead, if they miss anything, it's the function you served in their life, like an invisible servant, always ready to meet the insatiable needs of their massive, greedy ego. A narcissist, bluntly put, is a sophisticated parasite. They latch on to others, draining energy, emotions, and vitality to feed their enormous ego. Do they truly miss you? I can confidently say they do not. You might argue, but when they came back, they seemed so hurt, so regretful, and tried to prove their love. The truth is, everything they do and say at that moment is tailored to pull you back under their control. Their love is like a mirror reflecting their own glowing image. They adore the values you bring, the light you radiate, the way you indulge their fragile ego. To them, you're like a precious gem, a perfect pedestal elevating their grandeur. A piece that completes the flawless picture they've worked so hard to create. They don't love you. They love the idea of you as a high-class servant, an ATM or someone to vent their anger on whenever they please. You're merely a supply of energy for their insatiable ego. Once that energy runs dry, you'll be discarded mercilessly, like an old toy. Narcissists are addicted to their narcissistic supply. They see themselves as the center of the universe and need constant admiration and desire from others. As such, they are always on the hunt for new sources to satisfy their ego, but they'll never truly let you go. They'll always want to keep you within their grasp. Don't try to understand them through the lens of a normal person. The inner world of a narcissist is a twisted maze of bizarre paths and distorted thoughts that defy logic. Number 3, their shape-shifting abilities. Rewind to the moment you first met them. They seemed like a dream come true, an ideal figure straight out of a romantic novel. With their charming appearance, sweet words, and caring gestures, they made you feel like the center of the universe, the only one worthy of their burning love. They promised the world, painted a rosy future where you'd be together forever. You were intoxicated by love, believing you'd found your soulmate. But then, like a well-crafted play, the curtain gradually lifts, revealing the dark corners you never anticipated. The perfect lover transforms into a ruthless manipulator, focused solely on their selfish desires. They control you, dominate you, trampling on your emotions and self-esteem. You realize, with horror, that you've given your heart to a devil in disguise. Heartbroken and disillusioned, you decide to leave, to end this toxic relationship. But a narcissist doesn't let go easily. They switch roles, begging, pleading, promising to change, to become the person you always hoped they'd be. You soften, give them another chance, hoping for a miracle, but it's all a repeat performance. They remain selfish, cruel, and manipulative. Determined, you leave for good this time. Yet the narcissist shifts again, taking on a new role, the pitiful victim. They cry, lament, cast themselves as the sorrowful wrongdoer, seeking forgiveness. When this act fails, they turn vengeful, threatening, smearing, or even blackmailing you. In one person, you witness countless transformations: the perfect lover, the ruthless manipulator, the pitiful victim, the fearsome adversary. You're lost in a psychological maze, unable to distinguish truth from lies. Eventually, you realize one thing: it was all a performance, a meticulously staged drama serving their sole purpose to satisfy their massive ego and thirst for control. Number 4, they use infidelity as a tool for revenge. Don't be surprised if a narcissist does a complete 180. turning you from the victim into the culprit of their infidelity. Through their rhetoric and ability to distort reality, they'll cleverly blame you, claiming that your lack of attention, love, or inability to meet their needs pushed them into someone else's arms. They paint themselves as the victim, forced to seek comfort elsewhere, when in reality, they are the architect of the betrayal. Their aim is not only to shirk responsibility, but also to manipulate you, making you blame yourself, doubt your worth, and ultimately forgive them. In the narcissist's miniature universe, they are the sun, and you are merely a tiny planet revolving around them. Everything must operate within the orbit they dictate. All attention must be directed toward them. Every word must praise them. They crave admiration, demand submission, and believe they deserve unconditional love. Even the slightest deviation from their expectations, a word they dislike, an action they disapprove of, will be labeled as a personal attack and an unforgivable insult. To punish you and re-establish the order, where they are at the center, they wield a powerful weapon, deception. Did you fail to give them enough attention, neglect to shower them with extravagant compliments, dare to challenge them? These are all excuses they use to justify their wrongful actions. They feel no guilt or remorse because, in their distorted logic, deceit is a necessary tool to balance the relationship and assert their power and control. Don't try to rationalize their behavior with normal logic. To a narcissist, deception is not a mistake. It's a strategy, a tool for manipulation and punishment. And sadly, it's something you cannot change. They will never recognize their wrongdoing because, in their world, they are always right. Number 5. They exploit your flaws to undermine your value. Leveling is a sophisticated tactic manipulators use to blur their wrongdoings by devaluing you. Instead of accepting responsibility, they focus on your minor or unrelated mistakes and equate them with their serious transgressions. This strategy not only downplays their actions, but also makes you feel inadequate, doubt yourself, and spiral into self-deeming. For example, if you confront them about a lie or something hurtful they did, instead of apologizing, they might respond, "Yes, I was wrong, but didn't you also disrespect me in front of our friends? So we both have issues." By doing this, they divert attention, turning their serious misconduct into something equivalent to trivial mistakes you may have made. This is how they manipulate your emotions, a form of deflection to evade responsibility and maintain control in the relationship. Their ultimate goal is to make you lose confidence in your own value, convincing you that you have no right to criticize or demand change from them. But the truth is, your mistakes, no matter how real, don't justify their harmful actions. Their behavior is theirs alone to own. Number 6. Their appearances at words and actions don't match. Narcissists often exhibit clear contradictions between their words and actions. They frequently make convincing promises, creating the impression that they'll achieve great things or change to meet your expectations. However, these promises rarely, if ever, materialize. They break promises effortlessly, without guilt, because their goal isn't to keep their word, but to make you trust their temporary assurances and win your forgiveness, agreement, or compliance. For example, they might say, "I'll never hurt you again," or "I'll change and become a better person." But soon after, they repeat the same behaviors, showing no regard for the consequences. When confronted, they typically make excuses or shift blame to circumstances, other people, or even you. "I wanted to do it, but you made me feel pressured, so I couldn't. These hollow promises are tools to delay confrontation, avoid accountability, or keep you in a relationship where they maintain control. This disconnect between words and actions erodes trust and leaves you trapped in a cycle of disappointment, self-blame, and doubt. The key is to recognize that instead of relying on empty promises, focus on their actions. A person who genuinely cares won't just say, "They'll do." Narcissists, on the other hand, speak to convince, but act solely for their own benefit. Set boundaries and protect yourself from this ongoing pattern of broken promises. Number 7. They see love as a gift to bestow, not as an emotion. A narcissist often views their love or affection not as a genuine, equal emotion in the relationship, but as a gift they bestow upon you. In their mind, loving you is not a natural feeling, but a privilege, and you should feel lucky to have been chosen as the recipient of their affection. They use this love as a tool of power, making you feel indebted to them, obligated to repay with gratitude, submission, or even the sacrifice of your own needs. For instance, they might say, "I've done so much for you because I love you, yet you don't appreciate it," or "Not everyone is worthy of my love," like this. These statements are not meant to strengthen the relationship, but to emphasize that their love is rare and valuable, and you must meet their expectations to avoid losing this gift. In reality, this isn't love. It's a sophisticated form of control. They don't love you for who you truly are. They love you only when you fit the image or role they desire. This creates immense pressure, making you feel like you must constantly please them and prove yourself worthy of their love. But true love is not a gift to be bestowed or a tool for manipulation. It is about mutual sharing, equality, and unconditional care. Remember, your worth does not depend on someone granting you their love, but on being loved genuinely and deservedly. When faced with the puzzling behaviors of a narcissist, it's crucial to understand that not everything can be explained logically or reasonably. Their actions, manipulation, blame-shifting, or control do not stem from love or care, but from a deep need to protect their fragile ego and maintain power. You don't need to understand or rationalize these behaviors. Instead, focus on protecting your own value, building strong boundaries, and prioritizing your mental well-being. Keep in mind that not everything they do has to make sense to you. The chaos is part of their strategy. What you need is clarity within yourself. When you understand and respect your own worth, you won't allow their unreasonable actions to define you. Thank you for listening. See you in the next video.